Ben mentioned Devin Gill as a guy who's really stepped up his game. What have you seen from him?
Devin Gill actually really stepped his game up from spring. Had a really good spring. He had a really good fall so far. So I mean, for him, I feel like he just got to keep his arrow going up and keep focusing on his job. We'll see what happens.
The arrow going up. Did you get that from Don Brown?
Yeah, I did actually.
How's Drew Singleton progressing?
Drew doing good. Drew one of those players, like, he'll have those flashes. You'll be like, yo, like, you gonna be real good one day, dog. But Drew still, he playing a new position, and he's still learning. He's still learning his ways and what he can do, what he can't do. He's still learning. So he's in that process of finding his way, but he getting there.
I mean, Don mentioned that Josh Ross he's turned cross training at your position. What is that like? And are you kind of like teaching Josh the position? And what is that like?
I mean, for me, actually, I went through the same process, Ross going through right now. What was it, my sophomore? No, actually my freshman year. So, I kind of get where he's coming from, but I'm mostly teaching him the mic spot. He know the one spot. He's been playing it since he got here. So I'm mostly teaching him, the mic spot. And so if you learn the will, you can learn the mic.
What is that like? I mean, kind of coach-player feel for you a little bit?
Kind of like big brother role.
Yeah.
I'll be watching him. I give him a little tip here and there. He do something right. I'll be like, yo, good job. Keep that up. He going to field. I'm like, yo, make sure you making your checks. Make sure you're doing this. Make sure you're making this. Communicate. Stuff like that.
Now that you've had a year as a starter, how has the game changed for you now going into this fall camp?
It slowed down a lot. Just cause going into last year, I didn't really know what to expect. As a starter. So coming back, I know what to expect, and I know how these big games I play. I know the field, I know the atmosphere. So the game has slowed down a lot for me.
How much pressure is there, if any? You guys were the third-ranked defense in all of college football last season.
Not really that much pressure. We can go out and do the same thing. If anything, we can improve our numbers. So that's how we're looking at it.
Devin, for guys like you and Rashawn and some of the juniors, does this feel like your defense now?
Yeah, Coach Brown said one thing, this is your defense, this is your team. Coaches only do so much. Coaches coach, players play. So when you on that field, it's just y'all. Coach can't play for us. So we taking that role, we just trying to take that next step and trying to win these big games.
How big was that for you in the summer to make sure that people heard you and kind of followed you by example?
Honestly, I didn't really think about it like that. I just did me. This summer I focused on me, and I focused on the guys around me. So, whoever's around me, I was going to make sure, you was pushing yourself.
How challenging is Shea because he's a run-pass option, on any play?
He's a challenge. You got to keep him inside the box. You can't let him get outside the box. And, he's a really good quarterback. Smart.
From practicing against it, you guys get a pretty good feel of what the offense is doing. Do you notice a big difference this year in terms of scheme, in terms of just sort of the approach they have?
It's a lot more athletes on the field. You know what I'm saying? Faster pace. Shea, making checks. Brandon Peters making checks. Joe Milton, Dylan McCaffrey, all making checks. So it's just they kind of going off of checking and do. I don't know what they really do, but they look good.
What does the offensive line look like from your standpoint?
They good. They doing a lot better. They got a better mentality, and I think Ben Bredesen, really took that role as, I'm gonna lead this group, and he's doing a great job doing it.
What difference have you seen when going into camp last year? And I mean, they were not putting words in your mouth. The right side did struggle a little bit. Left side was always stronger. I mean, are you seeing more continuity or more even play, or is it still kind of?
As of right now, I think it's pretty even. I think the whole line doing a good job. It's hard to handle Rashawn Gary for 4 plays straight. So, I think they're doing a good job handling it.
How do you feel about the class of guys you came in with now that you're a couple years into it? A lot of guys in big roles if you weren't anymore.
How I feel about them? Like,
yeah,
the guys
just all together, the class.
We're a close group. We came in, we was close since the beginning. And, I feel like those are my brothers right now. And I feel like, we closer than teammates. We really like brothers out there. So that's how I feel about it.
it's when you're being recruited, that's a thing on social media. You want this class to be great. Do you still think of it that way when you're here?
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, you always gonna remember the guys you came in with. It's the first time going to college, the first time meeting new people. So you always gonna remember those people. You always remember what you said about those people.
A couple guys you're close with. We talked about Devin Gill. It sounds like he's done well. But Josh Uche, though, 20-pound weight gain. John was saying he's still running a 4.5.
Yeah.
Really impressive. What have you seen on Josh?
He doing his thing. He balling in my eyes. He doing his thing. He doing what he capable of, and he doing more. He really evolved when he first got here, he really evolved his game. He could play the pass real good. Now he could rush real good. He could make an open field tackle real good. He could fit the box real good. So he could do it all.
There's been a perception, I think nationally, that Harbaugh's been a little more low-key since the end of the 8-5 season. Have you noticed that at all? Or
Low-key as in
he's not out there as much. He's not on stage with a, rap group, and he's not. I mean, he was on Comedy Central last night, but that's been pretty much it.
I don't know. I don't really know.
He isn't acting differently. I mean, Jeffrey said he's zoned in like he usually is. He's focused.
Yeah, that's him all day. He ain't acting really too much different.
And Zach said that he's detected something special in this group. Is that a common thread among the players?
It is. He like one thing he brought up the other day was like, we got one shot. You know what I'm saying? When the years go, seniors leave, people leave. We got one shot with this team, with these group of guys, and we can't miss. So that's what he stressed to us about it. So you really open your eyes, like, you do have something special here, and you're going to make the most of it. We have to. I'm going to get one shot at this.
Devin, third time through camp
Last question.
with Harbaugh. How is it any different? I mean, people ask about the focus and everything like that. Is it any different from first year with him to right now?
It's the same thing. Honestly, it is almost the same thing. He still preaches the same thing. Camp schedule's almost the same. And we meet a lot, so he do a lot of football. So that's how, he predicated his camp around just a lot of football all day. So it's been the same thing since I got here.